This is my path, my journey. I'm willing to explain it all to you guys. No holding back anything. I just hope you're ready for the experience, and I just hope you can handle it.
What's going on, guys? So, it's early morning. I basically just woke up. Like an hour and a half ago, but it's 7 a.m. And I want to make this video about shamanism and psychedelics. Because I feel like there's two sides or two paths you can go down when it comes to psychedelics. I feel like there's the shamanic path, and then there's the psychedelic path. Now, I feel like I'm gonna break down the both of these, but I'm not gonna talk about just one and then talk about the other, because like I don't ever write anything down for my videos. So this is just literally off the top of my head. This is just what I wanted to make the video about. So I think that the psychedelic path is basically, what I guess a lot of people start with, and I can't say everyone because there are some people that go into the psychedelic path as with shamanism, basically. But a lot of times it's just, nowadays, we have the internet. And the internet has influenced humanity so much and so drastically that humans can just, look things up online. We research, because that's what started with me. I started researching things online. I seen things online and then researched, seen some guy, doing salvia, and then I did salvia. But it's just, I think that psychedelics have always been here, and they've always been a part of human nature and humankind. It's part of the human experience. But a lot of people just take the psychedelic journey, because the psychedelic journey, if you're on the psychedelic journey, that means you believe in bad trips. If you're on the shamanic journey, you do not believe in bad trips. Because all the bad trips are it's basically what me and my friends call the isness. And the isness is basically the what is of reality. So when psychedelics are trying to show you what is, when they're unraveling their beautiful love and funny vibed experience, whatever, and when they unravel that into what is known as the isness, it's not as pretty as we think. Like, it's beautiful, but it's not. It's life shattering, it's scary, it's terrifying if you don't know. And I think that the isness is basically what everyone is scared of when it comes to being scared in a psychedelic. It's the scared to let go. It's the scared to, there's many stages to the psychedelic experience. And the shaman is trying to figure out these stages. The shaman is not just doing these psychedelics, for fun. Most times, if you're doing on the shamanic path, you're not really doing it for fun, even though it ends up being a lot of fun. Like, don't get me wrong, and that's the thing about the shaman. The shaman has I guess what other people would call a twisted sense of fun, because the shaman has fun in his madness, in just the psychedelic journey. You don't really have fun with the madness. You kind of get a little scared of the madness, or you're shy because your friends, or maybe you're tripping with your friends, and you think it'd be really strange if you just got up and started dancing and singing in another language that you can't explain or something. Things happen. But that's the shamanic path, because the shamanic path is just understanding. Once you get to there's a point of no return, I guess you can call it. When it comes to psychedelics, there's a point of no return. And that doesn't mean that you're going to trip forever, that you're going to be stuck in a complete psychosis forever. But that might happen, not forever, but you might end up in a psychosis briefly. It's just the isness. Once you get to this point with the isness and you go farther, okay, most people walk away at that point. If you've been on the psychedelic path and then you're no longer on the psychedelic path, it's because you hit that point with the isness where it's like, if you went any farther, you'd have to let go of all your past and your bullshit, let go of the fact that you think you know, let go of everything. Cry, if you're a man, you'll break down and cry. If you're a woman, maybe you'll sit there and scream, but like, there's things that we suppress in our human self. The isness of reality, what is, and what is we literally are all. We think we're that drop of water, but really we're the whole fucking river. And that's what happens when you're just on this. And let me preference this. It's okay if you're just on the psychedelic path. It's okay. You don't have to be on the shamanic path, the shamanic journey, because the shamanic journey is not for everyone. I used to, back when I was younger, when I first started this journey, back when I was like 20, 21, I used to think that these things were for everyone, right? I used to be like, yeah, everyone needs to, experience, what is, and experience, reality. The reason why humans are the way they are, and the reason why we have world issues, is because we're not connected to, psychedelics like we used to. We're not connected to Mother Nature like we used to be. And even though I still believe that's true, I don't think that everyone needs to go down the shamanic journey, because I don't think everyone can. At least not right now in history. But honestly, I don't think that everyone can ever, possibly. I don't know. Because think about it this way. When the natives had shamans, it's not like everyone in the tribe was a shaman. It was like there was probably a few shamans, but it wasn't like every single person could handle the shamanic world and bring back the information. Like, it takes self-discipline. Like, you have to be able to have a really very meditative mind, be able to silence your mind so you can have the experience talk to you. You have to also take it seriously, because the other difference between the shamanic path and the psychedelic path is basically, when it comes to the psychedelic path, you might say that you've gotten spiritual from your experiences, or that your experiences were spiritual, that they're very deep and spiritual to you. And if you were an atheist, maybe you can say now, after your deep psychedelic experience, that yeah, I had a spiritual experience. But the thing is, though, with the shamanic path, it's much deeper than just saying, I had a spiritual experience, right? It's that this mindset sticks with you forever after the experience. For example, I don't need to do psychedelics, and it's not that I don't need to do psychedelics anymore. I still do. I have like this little ritual thing with my friends where it's like every equinox, we have an experience, but at the same time, I don't need my experiences anymore. I still go back because I understand you'll never have all the information, but you get to a point where you're just like, I just literally think to myself every morning, like, thank you, Mother Ayahuasca, for allowing me to wake up. Thank you, for the food I eat when I eat my food. Thank you. When I drink my tea, I say thank you to the tea, whatever tea I'm drinking, to the plant. If I'm drinking kratom, I say thank you to the kratom farmers. Thank you. I get really appreciative. Like, I get in this state of gratitude, of appreciation for life. And, it's also like, when it comes to, and that's the shamanic path, right? The shamanic path will bring you almost to, I guess you could just see where religion started, right? You can see that how religions got to getting started is people started taking plants and started connecting with the reality of what is in Mother Nature. And then, religions took over. They took the philosophies, but they forgot to tell humanity that they got all their philosophies and their information from the plants. And that's what I think, that is. But I only think that because I take these plants, and for some weird reason, I've been getting more, I guess, what other people would look at as religious. I'm not necessarily I'm not religious, but it's like the shamanic way, like just the shamanic way has embodied me. I'm embodying it. I literally believe in these things. I believe in Mother Ayahuasca because I've had experiences with her. I've met her, and I know that she is guiding me through life. She's guiding us all through life. But you have to believe in her. You have to have faith in her, and she'll have faith in you. Like, that thought process has begun to happen the more I dive deep into this. But what's interesting is this thought process didn't just begin to happen. It didn't begin to happen because of psychedelics. It did. They planted the seed, but what made the seed grow is I started using plants and herbs, right? I started using different some Chinese, medicinal herbs, Ayurvedic herbs. I started using Michigan speciosa. I started using wild daga. I started using I don't know. Obviously, cannabis was the first plant that went into my life even before all the psychedelics. But it's like I started using these plants, and I realized that these plants all have a different consciousness, and the effects of the plant, when you have a plant and you get the effects of that plant is basically, the effects of the plant is the plant's personality. Because humans have different molecules and different chemicals that flow through our brain and body that create our different emotions. So when you're happy, you have certain molecules that are flowing. When you're sad, you have certain molecules that are flowing. A lot of scientists have kind of pinned down the stress hormone, which is called cortisol. But it's like there's a lot of molecules basically dictate our state of mind and our personality and the way that we are. And I feel the same thing is for the plants as well. The molecules inside of the plants dictate the plant's personality. And as a shaman, you end up using the plants that fit your personality. You start to connect with the plants, and you start to understand that they're conscious and that each plant contains knowledge, and you can get downloaded with the knowledge by using the plant and connecting with the plant. But you have to thank the plant and be appreciative of it, and and then it will work. Like, it's a mindset thing that happens when you're on the shamanic path. You get very deep into it. It's a very spiritual thing, but it's very for me, it was very beneficial. It's helped my life drastically. It's like, I just feel like shamanism is this is a very controversial thing to say, but I really don't care because this is just my truth. I feel like shamanism is the one true religion, because it's not a religion. One, it's funny that religion doesn't look at shamanism as a real religion, and it's because all religions are scared of shamanism, because the shamans have direct contact with what they call their creator, with Mother Ayahuasca, with these other beings, these other dimensions. They understand that when you do these psychedelic things, you're traveling into the spirit world. It is a serious thing, even though seriousness is illness. So you cannot forget the cosmic joke and forget to laugh and enjoy it and have, a beautiful time, whatever. But it's like, you have to respect it and take it seriously, because you need to understand that this is the spirit world we're diving into. We're diving into other dimensions, other realms of existence, other, stages. And I think that when you're on the path of shamanism, the shamanic path, that's what it's like. It's like, that's the reason why all shamans have this thing in common, even though they've never met. It's just, there's a lot of shamans in the Amazon that have a lot of things in common with other shamans in the Amazon, even though they've never met. Shamans in Asia that have a lot in common with shamans in North America, or South America. You know, it's just all the shamans in Africa have so much in common with the shamans in South America, but yet they've never met. It's because shamanism is what happens when you start to take the path seriously. That's all. It's just what happens. It is what is. It's because it shows you what is. And, you know, if you are on the shamanic path, then that means you got the calling. That means you wanted to keep going. That means you wanted to keep learning. That means you wanted to become a better person. You wanted to become a better you. You wanted others to become better them, you know, their greatest versions. You want to help. You want to be real. You want to love. You want to learn. Like, because this is a, like, thing. Like, I look at this, like, almost like a scientific, experiment in a way. Like for me, the shamanic experience also is, you know, it's spirituality. It's combining spirituality with science. It's combining logic with magic. It's combining reality with what we call the matrix, because we think that it's all about breaking out of the matrix. The shaman understands that to break out of the matrix is to die, and that's that, you know. And the psychedelic path isn't, I guess, as deep. That's the other difference. You know, the thing is this: when it comes to deep, right? This is the psychedelic path, and this is the shamanic path in a analogy. So you have an ocean. People go to this ocean, and they go to the beach and they swim in the ocean. But just like any ocean that has a beach, there's this net thing that goes a certain far out, so you can't go a certain level out. Now, the psychedelic experience is you are swimming in that safe area. That's the psychedelic experience. That's the psychedelic journey. You know, if you're just on the psychedelic journey, you're exploring that area. And still, don't get me wrong, it's still a deep area, and it's still very transcendental, and it's still life-changing. But it's still just an area, and it's also like you have, I don't know, it's just you have more safety. That net is the point of no return that I was talking about. Because once you go past that net, the lifeguard can't help you. Nobody can help you. Doesn't matter if you have 10 trip sitters. You know, it's like nobody can help you at that point. So it's on you. And it's just like, you know, the psychedelic experience is just like that, though. Like the whole shamanic psychedelic experience, when you're trying to describe the psychedelic world, it's almost like the analogy of the ocean, where, you know, humans have never even been to the bottom of the ocean. You know, it's like people think the psychedelic experience is just that safe area. But really, it's the whole ocean. Because the shamanic journey is you trying to discover new creatures in the ocean. You trying to go depths that no man has ever gone before. You trying to do the risky things, pushing the boundaries, it's like that's what the shamanic experience is. When you are diving deep into that ocean, you went past that net, you're swimming out into the middle of it, and then you go all the way, try to go down to the bottom of it. But then when you try to go down to the bottom of it, you find out that there are creatures that live down there that have been living there this whole time that you had no idea of because you were never down there. And it's the exact same way. You know, there's beings in other dimensions that exist, and you haven't been there, so you don't know. But if nobody told you, I mean, there's deep sea creatures that exist that we haven't even discovered yet. But they still exist, and we still know they do. You know, but I think that this is the same thing. The psychedelic experience can be described in the same way, that it literally is just an ocean, and if you're on the psychedelic path, you're just exploring the safe part, and once you go past that that net, That's why you have a bad trip, because you're scared. Your safety net's gone. The fucking lifeguard can't help you. Nobody can help you. If you can't swim, you're gonna drown. And that's what happens. And, you know, if you're on the shamanic path, then you learned how to survive in that ocean. You learned how to thrive in that ocean and learn and adapt and bring back information. And, you know, it's like, these things are very deep. And yeah, but this has been a little video. Yeah, still very fucking tired, man. I got like, I don't know, 4.5 hours of sleep, but it is what it is. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. Follow me on Instagram as well, BitChute, and Instagram is all MarkDreams25. And yeah, thank you guys. Peace out.